Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. My name is Yaqub Zaman. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, enjoying yourselves. All right, so this is my live stream, guys. I have these live streams on Fridays and Saturdays. So if you guys are not familiar with them, I answer your questions, whatever kind of question that you guys might have, inshallah. If I know the answer, I'll answer it. If I don't know the answer, then I do apologize. I won't be able to answer it. And I also make videos, guys, so make sure you check out my videos. Inshallah, I'm going to be showing you some new books that I got this week. So some new books that I have received this week. MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, some very exciting books. And also a book that I'm working on. I'm going to tell you about a book that I'm working on as well. Well, I've been telling you about this book for a while, but Alhamdulillah, I've decided to print what I've got so far. Anyway, so I hope you guys are well, enjoying yourselves, having a fantastic day. All right, so let's check out what you guys say. Wa alaikum assalam, Abu Bakr. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. And Salu. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. MashaAllah, Saeed, my cousin, Jazakallah khair for your kind donation. May Allah bless you for your kind support for my channel. This is my cousin Saeed, guys. Make special dua for him. Yeah, when you guys make special dua for him, inshallah. Thank you for your kind donation. Saeed helps my channel a lot. And he's my cousin as well. So he's my first cousin. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, Saeed. Hope you're well. Hope everything's going good. Last time you said that according to Hanafi fiqh, you can delay washing your feet in wudu. I didn't quite understand. Can you please explain? I can't remember exactly what I said, but if I recall, according to Hanafis, the washing of the limbs one after the other is not necessary. So you don't have to wash the limbs straight one after the other. You can wash your face, let's say for example at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you can wash your arms at 9 o'clock, and you can wipe your head at 10, and you can wash your feet at 11. So the delay between the actions, or the lack of delay, is not considered to be a condition according to Hanafis. And the reason is because the Hanafis say, in the Quran, Allah says, when you get up for salat, wash your face, wash your arms, wipe your head, and wash your feet. So they say, Allah mentions, as long as you've done 4 things, your wudu's done. And He doesn't mention the order, He doesn't mention how long you have to take in washing each limb. So that's why the Hanafis are very, very strict when it comes to what the Quran says. So it's specifically what the Quran says. Of course, the Hanafi says it's recommended to wash the limbs in succession without letting the first one get dry. When does Isha start according to the Hanafi madhab? Some say 18 degrees. However, according to the Muslim League, this is not correct for high latitude countries between 48 and 66 latitude. Here, we should adhere to the 7th of the night method. Okay, so I don't know exactly what time. Which part of Germany are you living in? Let me have a check. What's the part of Germany that you're in? So you see, it all depends exactly where you are. So generally, the Hanafi say, if you're in a part of the world where I'll actually show you guys how this works. Okay, Frankfurt, yeah. Okay, so let's have a check. So let me show you guys this website. All right, so this is a website. It's called Sun. You can use any website you like, which does the same job. So it's called time and date, right? So all you have to do is just put in here, let's say it was in Frankfurt, Germany. All right, so you see over here. So what you have over here is basically, you have the timings. Okay, so as you can see, this light blue color is basically representative of the light blue color is representative of the daytime. And then you have these 3 other colors. These are the various twilights, three levels of twilight. So you call the light one civil twilight, and then you call the one this one, you call it nautical twilight, and then your grey one, you call it astronomical twilight, and then you're at darkness night. So Isha actually, so if I zoom it in much more, you can see more accurately. Yeah, so can you see over here? See what happens is Isha actually, the Isha time actually, the night time stops in Frankfurt. I think it's on, what day is it? Okay, so it's basically, you can actually see it there. Yeah, so it's basically, I think it's on the 20th. Okay, 31st of May. All right, so 31st of May. I'm looking over here. If you can see over here, 31st of May is basically where. Actually, let me go on Instagram. 31st of May is when nighttime. There's no nighttime. Does that make sense? So that's basically what it means. That so from, I would say, nighttime is like 11:18 is quite late. So you can actually start from about maybe 10th of May, or maybe something like even before that. You can start praying your Isha about an hour and 15 minutes after Maghrib. Yeah. Now it depends what method you want to use. If you want to read more about this, Mufti Ibn Muhammad ibn Adam has a detailed fatwa on the different types, different methods that you can use to determine Isha in this like weird phenomena. Right. So normally now at the moment, I pray Isha 1 hour after Maghrib. And this is all going to last all the way till about end of July, 25th, 26th of July. Yeah. Makes sense? So that's basically what you're going to do, inshallah. So you can follow, just if you want to follow the 1 hour, just 1 hour after Maghrib. So your Maghrib is going to be, I mean now at the moment, 25th of May, Maghrib would probably have been at, what time is it? Nautical twilight, 10 o'clock, yeah? That's when your Maghrib starts, 10 o'clock. Civil twilight? No, civil, 9:18. 9:18, that's 9:18 is when your Maghrib starts. So 1 hour after that, you can pray Isha, inshallah. Alaikum assalam, my brother Amjad Ilahi. What's happening, bro? So during Hifz, if you're learning an ayah requiring sujood, what do you do? Do it. But if you have to read it multiple times, or one sajda would suffice all of them, inshallah. One sajda is sufficient. Huskus, so are there any books within our tradition that talk about how students should take notes and how to study, not referring to other books like Zarnuji? No, we don't have anything in the Hanafi madhab, from what I know. Apart from Ta'aleem al-Muta'allim. Yeah, Ta'aleem al-Muta'allim. That's probably a book, but it doesn't really have any detailed things on this. There's a book by Sheikh Abdul Fattah Ghudda, Qimatul Zaman. That's got some sort of like examples, anecdotes from the people of the past. Yeah. But from my knowledge, I haven't come across any specific book that gives you. So you're welcome, Muhammad. He said this is allowance given by the company to the employees. He says the original contract says that we will provide you 1,200 max as an allowance for the ticket. I don't understand what the question is. What was the question, my brother, Muhammad? Okay, alaikum assalam, Zaba. Oh, mashallah, ahla wa sahlan, Zahra. I hope you're well. Long time no see. 1,200, then we won't pay more than 1,200. But if you get less than 1,200, I still don't understand what the question is. What is the question about? And we will only pay you the amount that you bought the ticket for. If you bought it for 700, then we will only pay 700, not more than. Such a case is the extra money will still be. Hassan Ahmed, alaikum assalam. If a man has braids, does he have to undo them? Yes. Going to the stronger position in the Hanafi school, yes, he must undo them. Unless it's something which is part of his culture, like it's a really strong part of the culture for men to have braids, then he possibly doesn't have to. Umran, mashallah, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. You're normally not here on Saturdays. Currently in the hospital with my dad. Subhanallah, he had a heart attack. Allahu Akbar. Got a stent put in, currently under observation. Subhanallah. Guys, make special dua for our brother Umran. May Allah subhanahu give him sabr in this difficult time. Give his dad shifa kamil. Subhanallah. Allah make it easy for you, my brother. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, difficult. Must be a very difficult time for you. Yeah, inshallah. Inshallah, Allah's going to make it easy for you, inshallah. To stay in there, inshallah. Be with your father. Do as much khidmah of your father as you can. These are the times where you get loads of reward, inshallah. Say you've missed salahs for years. Do you have to make every single? Yes. Well, what you can do is, if you slowly start making them up, then even if you die, then inshallah you have you attempted to make them up. So that goes towards it. So slowly what I would suggest is, with every salat, if anyone has missed any salats, with every salat, just make up the fard salat, that's it. So when you pray your fajr, it's 2 rakats, fard. Pray your zuhr, 4 rakats. If someone feels as though they find it difficult and with the sunnahs, then instead of praying the sunnahs, pray your qada. Do your qada with it. Yeah, I would say inshallah. Muhammad alaykum assalam. How does one male make tawbah as per the Hanafi madhab? The Hanafis don't really discuss about tawbah, because tawbah is to do with a'mal al-qulub. So fiqh is to do with the actions of the limbs, and tawbah is to do with the actions of the heart. So that is not a specific Hanafi thing. That's more to do with general, aqidah issues and things of the they call the tazkiyah. So the Hanafis don't really discuss this kind of. But generally, the method of tawbah is just generic. Everyone agrees, which is in your heart. You feel what you're doing is wrong, and then you make a promise to Allah in your heart that you're not going to do that thing again. That's the main thing that you have to observe in tawbah. And if you ever hurt someone else, you ask them for forgiveness as well. Okay, that's an important aspect of tawbah as well. And even if you do go back to it later, then you've got like a clean slate, and then if it happens again, you ask Allah again for tawbah. Arsalan alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're well. Is there a difference of opinion in Hanafi school as to whether missing sunnah mu'akkada constantly would be sinful or not? Yes, there is Imam Muhammad and others there. So if a person, but not necessarily it's not categorically ikhtilafi masala. Generally, the sunnah mu'akkada is that if a person leaves it out in such a way that he is belittling it, as in he's treating it as it has no value, then it's considered to be possibly sinful. The Hanafis don't generally say it's sinful, because obviously establishing a sunnah mu'akkada act is, like they say, tariqa masluka fi din min ghayr luzum. It's something which is adopted in the religion, but it's not seen as necessary. So if it's not necessary, there can't be sin with it. Sin can only be associated to something which is necessary and you don't do. That's the main thing. But a person would obviously be very blameworthy for missing it. What's the best way to learn usul hadith for Hanafis? I understand Nukhba is taught. Well, I've got a course, 22 lessons of usul hadith. You could join that, inshallah. It's free of charge. You just have to send me an email. Email should be appearing at the bottom, and it shall give you access to that. I would say the best way to learn Hanafi usul hadith is to study it from the usul fiqh works. That's the best way. Like usul al-Sarakhsi, one of my teachers, Sheikh Anwar Badakhshani, has actually got an usul hadith work that he's written from usul al-Sarakhsi. Yeah, so that would be a good place to start. And also, one of my friends, Abdul Majid Turkmani, has a book which he's written on the usul hadith from a Hanafi point of view. They call it Dirasat. If I do sin, can I warn others against it? Yes, you can. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always need du'as in the summer months. Is it advisable to pray it in the second half of the time? So we done. In the summer months, is it advisable to pray it? I'm not sure. I don't understand what you refer to as it. In the second half of the time. I haven't understood that one. Have you seen the introduction to Hadith Science? I have not seen it, but I have gone through his course, mashallah. I would definitely recommend for anyone who's serious about going through Usul Hadith, a good teacher, go through it with Mufti Mu'adh. I think his course is £100. It's worth it, honestly. Very, very worth it. It's really good. But I would suggest going through the usul hadith after you've done something like a short understanding of the points of usul hadith. Okay, Fajr, pray at the correct time. In the summer months, is it advisable to pray it in the second half of the time? So we done. So in Fajr Salat, it's up to you. So what I would suggest is, look, in the UK, there's many masjids that start Fajr at 1:15, about 1:15, 1:18, yeah? And there's many of them that do it just before sunrise. What I would suggest is try to do it as late as possible if you can. If you think you're not going to find it easy to wake up, stay awake till 1:15, pray, and then go to sleep. Ishaq, wa alaikum salam. Did Abu Hanif follow the Sahibain in wiping over Jawrabain during his later life? That's what many of the books mention, yeah. He did ruju. A friend asked, what's the ruling on working in a bank for someone in the West who studied banking and finance? So if it's working in specifically riba areas, then it should be avoided at all. Should be avoided. Alaikum assalam. Tayyib, ahlan wa sahlan. Huzaifa, what is easier? What is easier? Zah, you're welcome. To add on to my last question, what if you don't know how many years? So roughly estimate. So do like a rough estimate, whatever you think, and then inshallah make that up. Yeah, inshallah that should be fine. Isa Ghoji or Mirqat? I would say Isa Ghoji would probably be easier. Yeah, Isa Ghoji is normally taught in the Mirqat, and Madrasa is taught after that. Yeah, but I mean, again, the thing about mantiq is the main thing that you have to understand in mantiq is just understand the definitions and you understand the application of it. That's all. The two things, that's all you need in mantiq. Because mantiq is actually not from the Muslims. It is actually a Greek science. So the Greeks, they were the ones, so Plato and these, they were the ones that came out with this. So that's why it's their science really. And the Muslims then further developed it. So it's got nothing to do with Islam. Remember that. Mantiq has nothing to do with Islam at all. In fact, if you never studied Mantiq, you would understand the books totally well. Hanafi madhab, you would understand it fully without any Mantiq at all. But Mantiq is very useful if you want to, gain the ability to be able to articulate yourself and deconstruct arguments and understand some terminology that might be, adopted in some of the books. That's what. Otherwise, I don't think there's much need in I've studied Mantiq at a very advanced level. I've studied like Sulam al-Ulum level, which is quite high. I studied 6 years of Mantiq. So I don't think it's really that important. After studying Asan Mantiq, can I go straight to Isa Ghoji? Of course, yeah, of course you can. Yeah. But see, if you study Asan Mantiq, you should be able to understand what Qadiyya is. You should be able to understand what tasdeeq is, tasawwur is. If I gave you a scenario, you should be able to explain it to me. Yeah. So if I said to you, if someone argues, for example, like someone says, I don't know, the earth is flat, right? So logically, you should be able to understand why this qadiyya is right or why this qadiyya is wrong. Yeah, and you should be able to name all of the different terms that would be used in that. That's what it's all about, really, honestly. So I personally think that if a person studies, the teacher who teaches Mantiq, the first book they teach of Mantiq should enable you to be able to understand these arguments. The more after that you study the books of Mantiq, it's just going into detail. That's all it is. It's just like you want to become a mutakhassis in, like a PhD in Mantiq. Would it be appropriate for me to ask an Aqidah question tomorrow during the Hajj bayan? If it's to do with Hajj, yes. If it's not to do with Hajj, then no. What's your thoughts on Mufti Mu'adh Shahid's new Ulum al-Hadith book? Very good, mashallah. Can you show where the top of the beard is? The top of the beard? I mean, the top, this? The beard is basically what's on the jaws. Yeah, so wherever grows on the jaws, that's called beard, according to Hanafis. Well, later Hanafis. Early Hanafis don't really have a definition of exactly what the beard is. Wa alaikum assalam, my brother Emullah, ahlan wa sahlan. Salam. Okay, Fahmida, wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. What is Ustaz's opinion on alimas going to university? No problem, as long as obviously they dress appropriately, as they would when they go outside. I wouldn't see a problem with it. Yeah, I know some people will probably say they shouldn't be in that kind of environment and things, but what I would say is this: look, if you're living in the West, jihad is of two types. Jihad of the sword, which is known as physical of combat, and the other one is of knowledge. So what we face in the West at the moment, the majority of us, we face an attack on our belief system, on our culture, on our identity, with media, with all of these things. Now, if you have no tools to be able to combat this, you can shelter yourself. All of us can shelter ourselves from media. Just don't watch the media. Don't do this, don't do that. But not all Muslims can do that. We need Muslims in the society, men and women, who have the tools, who have the ability to be able to combat all of this. And the only way we can combat, like Imam Ghazali says, is you need to understand the enemies, where they're coming from. You need to master that, and then you need to counter it. That's a very important thing. So I think that's probably something that in our lives that many of us don't even realize this. So if there are people out there that actually can do this, then I would definitely say, go for it. I would say go for it. If you can study in the university and you can do this, and you obviously have all the sharaid and everything. وادعوا لي من فضلك أهلا وسهلا حبيبنا الفريش برنس. Is the fact that madhabs have hundreds of scholars the reason why we do taqleed? If so, why do we do taqleed on contemporary issues? What I would suggest, my brother Abu Bakr, is for you to do my Usul Fiqh course. Right? Do my Usul Fiqh course. It's £75. I know that's a bit too much, but it's a good course, inshallah. I'm advertising it. And there I explain near the end about this whole concept of taqleed. So taqleed is needed because imagine taqleed like a patient going to a doctor. The patient is limited to how much he knows about his own illness, and he requires an expert's opinion to follow that. That's why we do taqleed. And the madhab we do taqleed because it's been well accepted throughout the years of the history. Yeah, so it's very well established. It's like a well established doctor. We'll be attending tomorrow's Bukhari Jalsa at Masjid al-Falah. MashaAllah, ahlan wa sahlan. What time is it going to be? Because I've got a talk in the evening, unfortunately. I've got a talk on Hajj, guys. Oh yeah, I said to you I'm going to put it up on the Telegram, isn't it? But unfortunately I forgot. So in the evening I've got a talk on Hajj. I'll be explaining about Hajj, inshallah. For Ahnaf, do khilal the beard or wash till the roots in wudu, I mean. Yeah, so according to the Hanafis, khilal, so you just pass your fingers through. That's it, wet fingers. Wa alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan, habibana Salah. Assalamu alaikum, boxing, MMA, ahla wa sahlan, long time, my brother. How are you? Alhamdulillah. Are you coming to Darlastan? I'll be Darlastan tomorrow, guys. Darlastan Sharif. Darlastan Sharif is supposed to be like the sister city, I don't know if you call it city or whatever it is, of Walsall. Is Ahmad bin Hanbal a faqih? Yes. Wa alaikum assalam. Aqsa Khan, ahla wa sahlan. Yeah, so basically that's the latest. All right, let's check out Curious Cat, guys. Curious Cat. See what you guys have been asking on there. Inshallah. All right, so okay. Wa alaikum assalam, Sheikh. What is the most rewardable adhkar to do if you were given only one dhikr pick before passing away? Allah, besides the shahada. Tough one that is. Wassalam. I think la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I think so. That's probably what would come to my mind. What would you guys say? What would be your last dhikr before you died? Assalamu alaikum. On CC, please. Hajj questions. If you miss any wajib acts, if you miss any wajib acts, asks, can you make it up whilst in ihram but after Hajj? Wassalam. Depends, but yes. However, you may need to give them. It all depends exactly what is. Does the hadith of 50 tawaf? I don't know this hadith. 50 tawaf hadith, I've never heard of it. Is it mandatory to have intention for each type of tawaf? Yes. Can man cover his feet when sleeping? No, can't cover. Can man wear face mask to cover his eyes whilst in ihram during sleep? Yes, but he should give some sadaqah. Using electronic tasbih would cover a small part of the finger. No, that's fine. Okay, let's check something out. محمد صلاح السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. هلا وبالوجه المنير بيض الله وجهك آمين. يوم تبيض الوجوه وتسود الوجوه. أتيت لأجل رؤيتك أخي آخر ما أراه بيومي، فأنا على ضوء قمر هادئ بدل من ضوء المصباح الكهربائي. الله أكبر. اللهم نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحفظك يا حبيبنا، وأن يبيض قلبك ووجهك يوم تلقى ربك. حبيبنا. If we do taqleed due to well-established acceptance of a ruling, wouldn't doing taqleed in contemporary issues which have ikhtilaf be contrary to this, since it is so this would then go into the issue of, does the layperson have to do taqleed of a madhab or just an expert? So they just have to do for expert. That's it. Whatever the expert says, they follow that. That's all it is. But I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand. If we do taqleed due to well-established acceptance of a ruling, wouldn't doing taqleed in contemporary issues? As in, what do you mean by contemporary issues? Can you give an example? I discovered any new exotic teas? You know what? I came across someone gave me Karele tea. It's a bitter gourd tea. It's quite good, bitter gourd tea. Yeah. Try that. That's one I've come across, new one. And what else have I come across? Yeah, that's probably the most exotic. Other ones are all boring. What about yourself? What's the latest tea that you've had? Just start at 5 p.m. It might be difficult for me because I have to be in Dallas at 7:30, so it's gonna be too much of a rush. Subhanallah bihamd, subhanallah al-azim. Yeah, that would be a good one. بارك الله بالجهود الطيبة النافعة. أسأل الله أن يجعلها في موازين حسنات آمين يا رب العالمين. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعلك من الذين نستفيد منهم وتستفيد منا إن شاء الله. How to tell the difference between a wet dream and a nocturnal emission? Always have doubt. So if a man wakes up in the morning, has a wet dream, he kind of knows because he has semen in his underwear. If he can't tell and he can't remember an erotic dream, then he doesn't have to do anything. Just wash yourself, do wudu. That's it. What is advisable to do if we can't attend Hajj? If you can't attend Hajj, then inshallah carry on with your life as normal. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, true. Carry on with your life as normal. This is considered to be what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from you, inshallah. MashaAllah. Sayyid, ahla wa sahla, jazakallah khair for your kind donation on PayPal. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Hit the likes, guys. Hit the likes. Do you have to say Bismillah Surah after Fatiha in namaz? You don't have to, but it's recommended. Saqib alaikum assalam. I'm very good, my brother. How are you? Clarity does not sound appealing. Trust me. Well, if you're a guy that drinks teas without sugar, then you'll be okay. Adam, what hobbies do you have other than cycling? Badminton, and recently walking. I like walking a lot. Today I didn't get to do my long walk, but normally I like walking. 1 hour walks. Hit the like button, guys. What can you do if you have bad dreams, even if you read Qul and prayed? What I would suggest is, first of all, try to speak to your doctor. If you have very bad dreams and it's affecting you, it could usually be like a medical issue. You might be low in something, or you might be deficient in something. It might be you're eating too much before you go to sleep. Right? There's a lot of medical dreams are not per se to do with Islam. Remember, that's just a natural thing that happens. Only those dreams that are true dreams that are related to Islam, like as in Islam, sort of has some sort of discussion regarding it. But otherwise, generally, dreams is like having a bad stomach. It's like having just feelings in your. There's some people saying you can read Isha Salah around 20 minutes after Maghrib, as in peak summer. Yeah, some say that. Yeah. Karele and ghost tea would be good, but just Karele tea. Allahu Akbar. You're welcome, Zara. Muhammad, if you see small drops when you wake up, is that a wet dream, or would you still need to have? No. So if it's not semen, I think men generally can tell what semen is. So then you wouldn't have to. I think you're a person who suffers from waswasa. If you're a waswasa person, ignore all of that. Just do your wudu and carry on. I have a question. Example, there is a good Muslim, one is a very practicing Muslim, does all good, but have a brow back. She has a bad habit of backbeating. Oh, I think you mean backbiting. About people who have hurt her. Okay. Do you listen to anything when on walks? Yeah. I listen to. So what I do is I have like a playlist of things that I listen to. So generally, this is on my playlist. I listen to Quran, right? So in Arabic, I listen to Arabic. I listen to Sahih Bukhari, right? I listen to Arabic poetry. I listen to, so these are the Arabic ones I listen to. I listen to Hujjatullah Baligha, and recently I've been listening to Risala by Imam Shafi'i. And the English ones, I listened to Deep Work, that was one. And what else was there? Atomic Habits, that was another one. There was a one that was called How to Communicate Effectively. What else? Oh, I forgot some of the names here. So I have like Arabic ones, English ones. Generally, I mean, if I'm walking, I can think more. So what I do is sometimes I listen. I'll sort of like listen maybe like 3/4 of the walk, and then for a quarter of the walk, I'll probably just try to articulate things that are on my mind, speak to myself. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but honestly, it helps a lot. Put a lot of things into focus. You know, things I've got to do in the day or maybe in the week, I'll try to just like kind of speak about them, so I know exactly, flesh out all the issues. Or by yourself, what anything new you've been listening to or reading? Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna show you some books today. Yeah, okay. So check these books out. Yeah. So this is a book which is by Mufti Faraz Adam. Mashallah, look how thick it is. Yeah, this guy, mashallah, every year he's publishing books. Yeah, this guy is very, very productive. So it's called Prophetic Finance and Economics. At the moment, he's doing a PhD on, I think it's Islamic economy and AI, something like that. But this is Prophetic Finance and Economics. Yeah, so this, I'm going to read through this. I haven't read through this yet, but he sent this to me a few days back. And mashallah, this looks like a very good book. I'll just read to you some of the chapters. It actually has like forwards by lots of people. Like it's literally got forwards by how many people? About 10 people that have written forwards for this book. Sheikh Nizam Yaqubi, Omar Mustafa Ansari, Haris Irfan, Amman Muhammad Ibrahim Khan, Sultan Chowdhury, Sheikh Dr. Aznan Hassan, Dr. Muhammad Ubaidullah, Dawood Vikri Abdullah, Muhammad Farooq Raza, Muhammad Rafi Hussein. Many of these I don't know who they are, but him putting them here would mean that they are significant people in the field. The current landscape and confusion in Islamic finance, Heal engineering in Islamic finance, the protocols of Mufti, commodity of Murabah and Sharia wrappers, the purpose of wealth, the purpose of Muamalat, objective of Islamic finance, revolutionary attempts at Islamic finance, what is Sharia, who is the Prophet ﷺ, what is the Sunnah, prophetic transactions, the prophetic macro economy, and it goes on. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend. Yeah, and mashallah, he's even written in this book, you're allowed to copy, redistribute, and the material in any medium format, adapt, mix, transform. Yeah, mashallah. So this book is about over 400 pages. Right, so inshallah, this is something definitely I'm going to read, and I'll tell you guys about it, inshallah, once I get through it. At the moment, I'm quite busy. But yeah, this is definitely one of the books that, inshallah, yeah, I'll be very interested in reading this. Yeah, prophetic final. You can get this on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon, type the name of this book in, you'll actually get this. Right, you can buy it, inshallah. This is one of the books I'm going to show you guys today. Okay, One Faith Islam. How do we know if speaker or writer is right to listen to? What I would suggest is, as long as a lot of reliable people talk about them, I would say you can listen to them. People you trust. Are we allowed to listen to Umar Suleiman and Nomani Khan? I have no problem with Umar Suleiman. Nomani Khan, I don't know him very well, and I haven't really listened to his content, so I wouldn't be able to say much. I know people who trust him. Why are you in pajamas, Sheikh? Where's the thobe and him? Alaikum assalam. No, well, actually, these are not pajamas. Not everyone wears these as pajamas. This is actually a top, a normal top that we wear outside. These are not pajamas. Maybe where you're from, maybe these are pajamas. One man's pajamas could be another man's Eid clothes. Who knows? Yeah. So these are not pajamas. How can a person be disciplined in studies? Usually, many students get lazy towards the end of the year. So what you need is the reason people get burnt out and get bored of studies is because they don't have objective. They don't have purpose. You need to have objectives. Why are you studying for? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? What do you want to achieve in the next month? What do you want to achieve? Have practical goals, and you'll become more efficient. The answer you gave answers the question. I was wondering, why do taqleed, if reason for taqleed is not found? I realize that modern issues are not really banned by a madhab. Since madhabs are well-established rulings, why contemporary issues may be subject to individual differences? No, even modern problems are subject to madhabs, of course. Continued, another person is not practicing at all, but very good with one. Is he good Muslim? What's more important? I don't know. Whichever one you're interested in, I would say. We can't judge between one person's sin and another person's sin, right? So what I would say is, generally, as long as a person is an honest person, a person is going to help you out in the times of difficulty. That's the kind of person that you're looking for. So would reading Isha 20 minutes after Maghrib permissible? According to some, yes. I would not incline towards that. I would say 1 hour after. TH Hex, alaikum salam. Where do you get your steak? Yeah, there's quite a few places you can get. It might be a bit expensive to get. So you can get steaks. There's a place called Hill Farm Finest. Right, you can order it and it'll come the next day or the day after. There's a place in Wolverhampton. It's called Malik Butchers. They do steaks as well. So you can go there and you can buy it from them. These are like the really good ones. And what else is there? I mean, you can also ask your local butcher to get you some cuts. So if you've got a good butcher, you can ask them to get you some cuts as well. The thing is, if you're going to get a good steak, you're probably going to be ending up paying like about 10, 15, 20 pounds per steak. You want really good cuts. That's the only thing. I think some people will find that difficult. David Goggins has a good one too. David Goggins, yeah, okay. What is it called? SC1 wa alaikum assalam. If a non-Haji refrains from cutting nails hair during first 9 days of Hajj, can they still brush their hair? Yes, they can. And if they accidentally do remove hair, is there any form of compensation? Just some sadaqah. Just a few pounds of sadaqah. Non-Haji, no. Okay, non-Haji. I thought you meant Haji. Non-Haji, no, nothing upon them at all. Haji, yes. Non-Haji, no. Someone passed away but didn't pray Salah, otherwise good Muslim. Will they be okay? You know what? My advice would be, do not worry about another person's akhirah. Allah is Ghafoor Rahim. Allah is Malik. Allah is the one that is the Muntaqim. He's the one that will take retribution from anyone. So leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think sometimes what happens is we get too stressed, worked up over how Allah is going to deal with people. Right? We don't have to worry about how Allah is going to. We should worry about ourselves. That's the main thing. But inshallah, make loads of dua for them. Would you recommend paying zakat to poor friend living in the West if he doesn't own the nisab amount? Yes, definitely. Is sajda sahwi required if one recites surah after Fatiha in third or fourth rakat of fard salat? Yes. Will you be interviewing Muslim personalities? Would be good. That's a good idea. Mufti, would you recommend one to focus on reading? Oh, actually, someone's contacted me. They want me to do an interview. They want to interview me about Imam Shafi's Diwan. Would you recommend one to focus on reading on book and finishing it until moving on to the next book? Yes. Depends what like exactly what's the context. Ericus, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum salam. What's your favorite book on the seerah? My favorite book on the seerah is a book called Siratul Halabi. Yeah, Siratul Halabi. Yeah. It's written by, I can't remember the author's name. It's in Arabic. And there's another one in English you can get called Siratul Mustafa by Maulana Idris Khan Delwi. I like that. As well as other fields of Islamic studies as students of knowledge. And should we know the Seerah as well as others? Of course, Seerah is very important. I actually did a Seerah course. Those of you guys know, with As-Sufa Institute, from the Quran. Seerah from the Quran. It's purely a Seerah presented from the Quran point of view. If anyone wants to register for it, then you go to asufa.org website and you'll find the course there. Should a student of knowledge memorize a fiqh book as they are studying it or after they have gone through? Yes, I would say at least the basic fiqh book, they should try to memorize it. If they can't memorize it word for word, memorize all the mas'alas in their own head. Yeah, so they should be able to present the mas'alas in their own head. Did you watch Pakistan versus England? No, unfortunately I didn't. Would it be haram to park in a no parking zone or speeding a little over the speed limit and similar? No, it wouldn't be considered to be haram. But obviously, if you get caught in this country, you'll be in trouble. Nawal Khan is amazing. His work on tafsir and teaching Arabic language. Subhanallah. Currently studying psychology at university. Where can I go with this degree? I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask someone who's actually done psychology to be able to answer that one. What kind of things do you suggest in this time field? So I don't know. I have a few students who are actually working in the field of psychiatry. So maybe that might be something. There's a lot of need for issues like specialization in waswasa. People who suffer from waswasa, dealing with them, helping people Muslims get over these kind of issues that are related to their cleanliness, purity, and all that. So I definitely think there's a big need for that. Can I start with mu'allaqat as a beginner, not balagha, just study poetry itself? Yes, why not? If you have to pay off a debt to the government and they offer you to pay off in one take or installments, but if you decide to pay off installments, they raise the amount of the debt a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, see, the problem is if they are going to raise it a bit, that means it's an interest-based loan, isn't it? So you shouldn't opt for that unless you've got no other choice. 2 books, just type. Okay, I'll check it out and I'll let you know, inshallah. Have you tried Himalayan? Yes. Himalayan salt aged steak. Nah, I haven't tried that one. Let me tell you what happened once. I went to Bradford, and I went to this place called Smoking House, or I can't remember what it's called, Smoke House, steak place. So we ordered a steak. The steak that I ordered was actually like for £35. Expensive steak this was. By the way, it was if you like food, then what I would say is this: make sure you get food that's worth buying. Like I personally, I'm not too much into overspending buying food, but this was something that I really wanted. So anyway, £35 steak, yeah, and it'll take 45 minutes, 50 minutes to come. And we asked the guy, and the guy said the chef's walked out. The chef has walked out. Imagine that. And as he's gone now, he goes, "We've put another steak on for you, but we've upgraded your steak to a 45 or £50 steak." And I go, "Wow, Alhamdulillah. Okay, yeah, I'll take it." This was like some Argentinian blue steak or something. I never heard of it before. Yeah, so these are the kind of things. This is what happens, Qadr. You ask for one steak, but then Allah decides to give you another steak. So yeah, I haven't tried Himalayan salt aged steak. But you haven't tried, Said, you have not tried my steak, my barbecue steak. Once you try my barbecue steak, my brother, you will have. There's actually a new place in Birmingham that's opened up that does smoked meat, right? It's very, very nice. Breaking fast accidentally versus forgetfully. What is the difference? Which requires qada? Okay, so breaking fast accidentally basically means that you know you're fasting, but you accidentally break it. You have to do qada. And forgetfully, no. Can a person receive sadaqatul fitr by multiple people? Of course. How would one remember the books they read? How do you remember the names of football players? How do you remember the names of your family members? How do you remember the names of roads that you've walked on? It's all about going over them again and again. Omar Yusuf alaykum assalam. Is there a similar classification of bid'ah in Hanafi madhab as the one classified by Ibn Abdul Salam? No, not really. No, Hanafis don't. Any Hanafi that has mentioned that, they've really taken it from Ibn Abdul Salam and Nawawi. Context on reading one's own personal reading. Would it be more productive to just stick to one book compared to multiple? Or on personal reading. So personal reading, I would say it depends. Sometimes you might want to read 2 books. Sometimes I read 2 or 3 books at one time. So different days in the week, I might read different books and I make notes on them. It all depends on your the kind of the topic that you're reading, and on your self-read as well. So it's nothing specific, I would say. What Arabic Tariq kitab is the longest, meaning what has the most years? I have no idea. I haven't re-specialized in that field. Are there any aspects of Palestine students' encampments at university that you think are problematic according to Islam? I don't know everything that's happening in the encampments. I wouldn't be able to answer that one. What's expected from a maktab student to know if he studied for 5 years? I don't know. I don't teach maktab. Best to ask a maktab teacher. I would generally assume that any student that studied in the maktab should know how to read the Quran fluently, should have memorized a certain number of surahs and du'as, should know the basics of fiqh, the basics of aqidah, the basics of akhlaq, these kind of things. Is only a mujtahid able to compare evidences regarding mas'alas? I don't exactly know what you mean by that. If you can elaborate more. I didn't catch the name of the Sirah book mentioned. Can you write it? Sirah al-Halabiyah. Yeah, so Sirah al-Halabi or Halabiyah. Sirah Halabiyah and Sirah Mustafa by Idris Kandel B. I was reading something. A lot of the mental issues come down to laziness, lack of purpose in life. Easy ways labeling it as mental condition and drug people up. Yeah, look at that. Check that out. I think I heard something similar to that as well. Yeah, I heard a few people mentioning something like that. Yeah, see, so the thing, this is a thing that I know. When I drive cars or my car, and I see, like, for example, taxi drivers. Generally, taxi drivers are annoying. Yeah, generally, they drive quite slow, about 5 miles under the speed limit, and they kind of they're like, they'll park in places to pick up people in awkward places. So the blame is not the taxi drivers are not bad. It's that because we see the taxi drivers a lot, we kind of group them into one group. Otherwise, people who are non-taxi drivers are probably worse. But because they're non-taxi drivers, you can't group them. So sometimes this is what happens when people have anything related to mental illness or anything to do with the mind or anything. We tend to group them all into one, and we say everyone with that particular name label is suffering the same thing. But the problem could be coming from a different angle. Mental illness, there could be someone who's suffered from a bad upbringing, and that's having an impact on them. There could be someone who is going through medical problems, and that's had an impact on them. There could be a person who's, whatever reason they're going through a midlife crisis, that could have a problem. So I think it's one of those ones. If a person has a mahram but he is not willing to come with her on Hajj, what's the ruling? Then she doesn't have to go. If he puts the condition on her paying for him, then does he have to? No. Not according to the stronger position in the school. If someone gets muddled in Salat and they don't know how, some Hanafis even say that if a woman was to go for Hajj on her own and it was a safe journey, based on the Shafi and Maliki position, it would be permissible for her to do so, as long as she goes with a trustworthy group of people. If someone gets muddled in Salah and they don't know how to remedy it, are they sinful for stopping and restarting? No, they won't be. Where's your favorite place to eat in Birmingham? It just depends how much money I've got in my pocket. I probably would say Holy Smokes would probably be, if I have some money in my pocket. Holy Smokes. Holy Smokes is owned by one of my students, so he does do offers for me. So, but yeah, that's very nice meat days. It's 12-hour smoked meat brisket. Looking forward to your barbecue one. Yes, my brother. What made you choose the Hanafi madhab? Today, guess what I made today? Today I made butterfly chicken. Butterfly chicken on the barbecue. So basically, you ask the butchers to cut the whole chicken into like two halves, splits it like that, and then you marinate it, and then you put it on the barbecue, and you leave it on there for about. You're gonna keep turning it for about 45-50 minutes. It's called butterfly chicken. What made you choose the Hanafi madhab? I think it was probably Asian. I'm Asian, so probably that was the reason. How can a person be moderate? What madhab do you follow, my brother? How can a person be moderate with his views regarding those who differ in opinions, such as opinions which are usually deemed as dangerous to follow or fitna? What I would suggest is look, there are going to be some people who naturally will be inclined towards controversy. They like controversy. They like stirring up the kind of strange kind of views and things like that. If you want to know if a position is moderate, then you look at what generally people do. If generally people accept this, it's moderate. Can children wear taweez? As long as the taweez that has written in there is only ayats of the Quran or du'as, stuff like that, then it's fine. What does Imam Shafi say regarding hadith about wudu breaking from things other than Allah knows best? What's considered basic aqidah and fiqh? Basic aqidah is basically knowing the six fundamental things of aqidah. Yeah, so knowing Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, the Day of Judgment, and the Qadr. Aisha wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Eric, well, you're welcome over there. Sira Mustafa, shall we abridged or full volume? The full volume, I would say, is probably better, but it depends on your time that you've got, how much time you've got. How do I get back on the deen so far away from it? Can't move past sins. What I would suggest is, look, Allah is a Ghafoor Rahim. Allah is the all-forgiving. He created us. He knows how we think. He knows our circumstances. He's created our circumstances. Allah is the one that we turn to. Turn to Allah, raise your hand, speak to Allah from your heart, and take it from there, inshallah. Yeah, anything, problems you have, raise your hand, speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Ghafoor Rahim. He is the one that has made the human being from a drop of fluid. So He is the one that has the ability to be able to change the life of the human being. Yeah, so subhanallah. Who do you admire most of the companions? Umar radiallahu anhu. Definitely Umar radiallahu anhu. Generally, taxi drivers are annoying, so I refuse to. Yeah, I have this rule, which is taxi drivers over the age of 40 are annoying. Okay, let's check out Curious Cat. Okay, I am part of a Palestinian activist group. There are many issues relating to keeping it haram, and I've been looking for a scholar to ask questions. During small protest events, some women join in. Is it permissible for a Muslimah to chant out loud? If there's a need for it, I wouldn't see a problem. If there is benefit in doing so, then yes. Otherwise, no. If there's a need for it, then yeah. So if the idea is to cause commotion, noise, then there'd be permissibility for it. I'm doing graphic design and it's just totally a hobby thing. However, I edit footballers, I cover their aura and everything, and so there's no haram in the pictures. However, I add highlights, shadows, faces, I add a simple filter and slightly change the tone of the. Are these halal? I wouldn't see a problem with it. When I search for this on Google, what usually comes up is I wouldn't see a problem. Okay, my name is Sabillah Mishkat. Most of the time I write my okay, yes, online platform like Facebook, email address is writing my name this way okay? No problem. I looked into some fatwas. I wouldn't see a problem with it. Yeah, it's just short. Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine to do so. As long as you're not belittling it, like deliberately doing it to belittle Allah's name, it's fine. It's fine to do so. I wouldn't see a problem with it. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. I wish to work at Lego store since most places around for work have haram products. However, during holiday season, there will be Halloween and Christmas sets. Is it fine to work there? Just not a cashier to sell those? Yes. Salam, yes. Yes, I wouldn't see a problem working at those stores. My family is struggling financially and I want to support them by being firefighter. But in order to be firefighter, I need to shave my beard. In the case, is it okay? I can email you. Yes, email me. Email me. learningdeen@gmail.com. Okay, can a woman recite Quran from memory or du'as before sleeping throughout the day or close during the menstruation? Before sleeping throughout the day? In only the four quls for protection. And those ayahs that are du'as in their meaning. Ya Allah. Alright. So, Jane taxi drivers are annoying. Salam, Zaid. Sanga chalde, Zama. Roar. What's the latest, bro? Holy smokes was the spot. You know, like it, yeah? Where's the line between mujahada and moderation? So the line is that what I would suggest is you present whatever you're doing is you speak to a scholar about it. Then you understand what moderation is. Have you been to Spain before? Yes. Where did you visit? Malaga. So Malaga, and then from Malaga we went to Cordoba, we went to Granada, we went to Seville. I heard people criticize the authenticity of Fiqh al-Akbar. Is there something to it? Yeah, so the authentic is that Abu Hanifa did not write it himself. It was actually one of his students who wrote it, and it was attributed to him. And there's obviously many other things in there are from him. At what point with those who cause fitna should a scholar get angry for the sake of Allah? So if they are clearly doing something which is categorically against all of what the scholars say, yeah, so it has to be something which is a munkar, and all the scholars are against it. If it's only one madhab's against it or two madhabs, then no. If you are not obliged to pay zakat because you do not possess the nisab, is it still possible to spend a little amount and intend zakat? Yes, inshallah. It won't be zakat, but it's fine. It'll be charity. What's a good aqidah and fiqh book for laymen who don't have teachers? So again, so instead of that, I would rather what you do is you study on YouTube or something from someone at least. So go to Seeker's Guidance, and they have a whole list of courses free of charge you can join, inshallah. Why do some Sufis move and dance while? I have no idea. Ask them. I love having long chats with taxi drivers. They are most very friendly. I agree with you. Can a person wear shorts if his knees he puts something around but show the shape? Yes, inshallah. Is there something specific Islamic science you are studying heavily? Fiqh. More focus spreading your current knowledge. Yeah, so I'm studying. I'm most focused on teaching. Do we need wudu to touch English translation Quran? No. No, I would say not according to. So the ikhtilaf in the Hanafi school, I would take the view that it's not. Also, can we then give a Quran translation to a non-Muslim? I would say yes. Please check, can someone be seeking Islamic guidance at the same time working? Of course. Why not? Are we obliged to do ghusl before going to Salat Jummah? No. It's optional. Can you check Curious Cat again? I have a question from someone which I need clarifying. Okay, every salah for the past couple of days, not just one or two, literally every salah, I feel uncertainty about rakats I prayed. I've never felt like this prior to weeks ago. Every salah I'm uncertain. I would spend 10 minutes praying Zohar, now it's 30 minutes. I try clearing my head. Any tips? Just do sajda sahu and carry on with salat. Any doubts you get, ignore those doubts and just do sajda sahu. Salam, here in the States, is basic manners to say bless you when someone sings is permissible? Yes. Yes, permissible. Every salah, is edible gold and silver halal? Yes. It's halal. Can one ask Aqidah questions here since Aqidah seems sensitive topic amongst many? I rather not. Yeah, because a lot of the Aqidah questions, a lot of people don't understand those questions. Unless it's like a very basic Aqidah question. If it's an Ilm al-Kalam question, I avoid them. If I am in the second rakat on Maghrib and I wish to stand up but stop myself and I'm closer towards sitting position and fully sit due to my tashahud, is sajda sahu? No, then it's fine. No. Do you specialize in any area of fiqh? When I did my iftar, I specialized in Islamic finance, but at the moment I haven't been researching Islamic finance, so I'm not really up to date with all the new models and mechanisms. Okay. Can one ask about what constitutes Iman? Fiqh al-Akbar confused me, low-key. Yeah, like I said, the basic thing about Iman is whatever is in the Quran, you just have to believe in that. That's the main thing you have to believe in. As long as you believe in what's in the Quran, inshallah, you'll be fine. So this is what we call the Iman Mujmal, the 6 things. As long as you believe in that, your uncle and auntie have not studied Fiqh al-Akbar, but they're still Muslims. Yeah, your grandparents or great grandparents who passed away, they probably didn't study Fiqh al-Akbar or Aqid Tahawiyah, but they're still Muslims, inshallah. Yeah, so that's all you have to remember. That's the main thing that will give person salvation. I think there's a trend now for people to kind of ask about Aqidah books and Aqidah this and Aqidah that. That isn't necessary for the layperson. They don't need to know that. Why are words such as Ar-Rahman translated as the most forgiving and not all forgiving? I have no idea. Allah knows best. Because there is no translation you can do of Ar-Rahman in any language, from my understanding. You can't do it. Yeah, because whatever language you translate it in, you're always going to be deficient in the translation. So you might be capturing 20% of the translation, 30% of it, 40%. So this is to do with translation. So if you're into translating things, you'll know this. Like you can't translate Alhamdu into English. You cannot do it. It's not possible. Yeah, you don't have a word for it. Why was Imam Hanifa imprisoned? Allah knows best. ML Goat, wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan, ahla wa sahlan, ML Goat. Right. So, assalamu alaikum. What's the ruling on EMI purchases? I don't know what that is. Assalam, what's that? I have no idea what EMI purchases. Now, instead of me having to go and research EMIs and spend all my time, I'd rather ask you guys to explain to me in full detail what you understand, and then I can understand that. Do you need to do something specific to make tawbah? Is there any specific dua? No. Salam. Nothing specific. Just apologize to Allah. So all you have to apologize to Allah. That's the main thing. Whilst praying, I inhaled deeply and accidentally took up at eye level with the wall in front of me. Is my prayer valid? Yes, it's valid. So I created an AI product recommender for a client for his company that makes promotional items like pens, etc. One of these products is a beer glass. Since I'm just making the product recommender, is it permissible? Yes. So, yes. Recommended sources for reading biographies of prophets and Sahaba. I don't know in English. I mean, there's a book called Men Around the Prophet or Men Around the Messenger, and there's a book also called Stories of the Quran. Stories of the Quran. That's a good one. Bring back the book reviews. Oh yeah, I need to start those. I have heard he, rahimahullah, was in prison because he refused to. Maybe, possibly. Assalamu alaikum. During the summer months, I struggle to wake up for Fajr as Isha is quite late. Any advice? So, what you can do is, depends. Which part of the world are you in? Where are you living? Got early flight tomorrow, heading off. Send you Twitter DM when you get chance. Inshallah, Allah make it easy for you, my brother. Said, have a nice one. Enjoy your flight. Inshallah, I'll have a check, inshallah, afterwards. Ya Allah. When is exam season at your madrasa? It's end of July. Exam season is the end of July. So usually in a Sufa, we have exams end of January and at the end of July. In London, and Isha Jamaat is at 10:45. Okay, so what I would suggest is that what you can do is I got two options here. Try to find the earliest time Fajr starts. The earliest time. In the Birmingham, one of the views is that you can pray your Fajr at 1:15. Yeah, 1:15. That's one of the options. So you stay awake after Isha, you pray 1:15, then you go to sleep. On many occasions, I do this. Or the other option is you try to find the opinion of what the earliest time you can pray your Isha. Yeah, the earliest time you can pray your Isha. So as long as you follow that, then inshallah, try your best. And if you do miss your Fajr and you tried your best, inshallah, just do qada of it. Yeah, Allah. Okay, next. What's the ruling on coffee and tea being an intoxicant, since intoxication can occur if you have too much? And there is a hadith. Please answer this live and send the timestamp. Okay, so no, these are not counted intoxicants. Yeah, these are not intoxicants. End of story. So these are not intoxicants, even if you drank a lot. Yeah, so I've never heard someone say tea is intoxicant. Or intoxication means that it blurs your ability to make judgment. Yeah, obviously, if you drink lots of coffee, you'll become alert, very alert. And if you drink a lot of tea, maybe, and you might feel a bit dizzy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's intoxicant. All right, guys. All right, so let me show you the other book. The other book is by Mufti Faraz as well. This is called The Best City in the World. So he has written a book about Medina. So subhanAllah. So imagine 2 books he's written with his busy schedule. He's managed to write this very, very detailed book, 140 odd, 150 odd pages. And again, he's got forwards by many scholars as well. A brief history of Medina Munawwara, the names of Medina, the virtues of Medina, visiting Medina, dying in Medina. Yeah, subhanallah. Look at that one. This is what you call a guy who you look up to. Yeah, I really admire this guy, mashallah. Yeah, so check out this book, guys. Again, you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, The Best City in the World. All right, so subhanallah. So these are some of the works. Now, remember I'm telling you guys, I have been writing a book. Well, it's kind of coming to fruition. All right, so there you can see so far it's about 70 something pages. And you can see the topics. You probably can see the topics, names. So this is basically a book it wasn't really a book. I had no intention of writing a book. It was basically for students before they start Hidayah. It kind of, from my 20 odd years of studying fiqh and teaching fiqh, there's kind of rules that I've listed. Yeah. So these are like understanding rules that the mujtahideen in the Hanafi school were implementing and how we understand those rules. So for example, like how the concept of obligation in the Hanafi school. What does obligation mean in the Hanafi school? This is a very important thing. Many people, they get confused with what obligation means and what non-obligation is. The impact of particles in fiqh. Particles, that huruf, ba, ila, these kind of words. Quranic usage of obscure words in fiqh. Mujmal words, we call mujmal. The role of the sunnah in fiqh and the issue of takhleel. So the role of the sunnah, like how do Hanafis define what is sunnah? Because Hanafis have a specific definition of what sunnah is. And then there's a really good example the Hanafis give, which is about the takhleel of the beard. So I'll go into that. Using hadith to elaborate on Quranic rulings. How do Hanafis use hadith in tandem with Quran? How does it work? Right. So there's that. The impact of varying qira'at in fiqh. So the varying qira'at that you have, varying recitations of the Quran, how does it impact fiqh rulings? So I'll go into that. Suspension of legal causes and istihsan in the Hanafi fiqh. So this idea that the Hanafis follow this concept of qiyas, and then that qiyas is sometimes suspended because of a specific dalil. Right? So how does that work in Hanafi fiqh? And examples of that. The significance of urf, convention in Hanafi fiqh. How do Hanafis understand urf? So I'll give some examples of that. Resolving clashing narrations in Hanafi fiqh. So if you have clashing narrations, how does that all work? Understanding the literal and non-literal meanings in Hanafi fiqh. The principle of hardship, haraj in Hanafi fiqh. What is haraj in Hanafi fiqh? How do Hanafis apply it? When does it apply? Reasoning and rulings in Hanafi fiqh. So illas, how do illas work in Hanafi fiqh? What does illa mean? Ease and practicality in Hanafi fiqh. Right. So when people say, this ruling is easy or this madhab takes, what does it mean when Hanafis say there's ease in this particular masala? The shifting the basis of ruling in Hanafi fiqh. Yeah. So the basis of a particular ruling shifting from one situation to another situation. The significance of definitions in Hanafi fiqh. Yeah. Why are definitions so important in Hanafi fiqh? Identifying the minimum in Hanafi fiqh. Some masalas are like you get this minimum number of things, maximum number of things. The impact of medical and scientific understanding on fiqh rulings. So how fiqh sometimes is influenced by the medical understanding of their time. Hadith grading and validity in Hanafi fiqh. The influence of Sahaba's practice in Hanafi fiqh. Conditions for validity in Hanafi fiqh. Maxims in fiqh and their significance. The cautious approach in fiqh. When we say this is the cautious, right? What does it mean by cautious? Evolving views of the jurists. Sometimes the jurists might have multiple views, or sometimes the early Hanafis might have one view, later Hanafis have a different view. Considerations of the natural world in Hanafi fiqh. So like some rulings, just like they're affected by medical understanding, they're also the natural world, the understanding of the natural world. Illustrative hypothetical scenarios in Hanafi fiqh. So this concept of hypothetical, like you hear like Hanafis come up with some strange scenarios that sound absurd, but there's like reason behind it. Preference for positions in Hanafi fiqh, like when do Hanafis give fatwa on one thing and some Hanafis give fatwa on a different thing? How does that work? Multifaceted fiqh scenarios. So you get like a scenario that's layered with multiple different aspects for that one particular masala. Tawqif, the concept of super rational principles in Hanafi fiqh. Perceptibility in Hanafi fiqh, the tangible approach to jurisprudence. The perception in fiqh, time perception in fiqh before the era of clocks. So before there were clocks, how do we understand fiqh? Like when we study a masala, we're living in times there's clocks, and the masala was written in a time there was no clocks. How does that, in the invention of the clock, have an impact on this? The Quran as a foundational evidence in fiqh. So, like I said earlier on, the idea that the Hanafis focus heavily on Quran meaning. Hadith as a pillar of fiqh evidence. The role of ijma in fiqh. Cases premised on multiple factors. Did I miss something out? Super rational, fiqh maxims, cautious, evolving considerations, hypothetical positions, multifaceted fiqh scenarios. Yeah, so cases premised on multiple factors, the absence of clocks, using the Quran as evidence, using hadith as evidence, consistency within the rulings of fiqh, preference of one view over others by the mashayikh. Right, so this wasn't something that I wrote as a book. I had no intention of making it into a book. It was basically just writing it so I could teach this to students before you go into Hidayah. So then all of the major sort of application of Hanafi fiqh we do in Hidayah, they'll understand it, right? They'll have like a handbook where they just like kind of say, oh yeah, this is falls under this concept. Or that was the main thing. And then slowly, as I was going through, some of my friends were saying to me, why don't you just make a book or something? And so I decided, it's not very detailed, but I can make it more detailed. Obviously, it's just very brief. It's meant to be taught. It's not meant to be just read on its own. Yeah. So make dua, inshallah, that this this gets done, edited, and organized and written up. I might have to rewrite it again. I might have to. Some people have actually contacted me and have offered to free proofread it free of charge. So maybe I'll get some of you guys. What I would actually like to do is teach it. So if I can teach it to a group of people from various back, I like teaching things to people who have not studied something before. If I can teach something to a person who has not studied something before, and I get results, I prefer that, because it shows me that the what I've written is actually something which is like beneficial, and I'm not basing it off that person's understanding of that particular science from before. So that's what. So hopefully, maybe if I get some ideas or some time, I might teach it, and then I'll get idea of if I need to edit it. I probably will have to edit it a lot, the ordering of it, sequencing of it, and maybe take some things out, add some more things in. It's not even like, I would say it's not even like quarter complete. Yeah, I still got a lot left to kind of do. And some was saying to me, just publish it, and then later on your second edition, you can add extra things to it, and that's how people publish books. So maybe I might do that. Yeah. Does one have to be a mujtahid to follow minority opinions in the madhab, or even go against a madhab? Yes. How long do you think the book will be once it's finished? Probably 3 or 4 times bigger than what it is now. So 70 odd pages now, 80 pages now. Probably about maybe 200-300 pages. And I don't want it to be too long. That's the thing. Is responding to salam wajib? Yes. Be good. Wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan. Be good. Hope you're well. Sound like a gem. Make dua, my brother. So this is a book that I'm working on. No, it's not published or anything. It's just instilled in my, me starting books and starting things and then not getting a chance to finish them. Like a very student-friendly book. In what year do students study Hidayah? They study Hidayah in the 5th year. How many years would you say Hidayah should be studied? It depends how often the lessons are. But I would say should be, if you want us to cover it cover to cover, it should be at least studied over 4 or 5 years. Normally it's taught in 2 years, and even then you won't cover it all year. That's the sad reality. Right, yeah, so that's basically something I've been working on for a while. There are loads of ideas. I start things and I have like a file on my computer. Yeah, just like sitting there looking at me thinking, you started me and you're not finishing me off. So that's the thing with these kind of it's tawfiq. Some people, like Mufti Faraz gets tawfiq from Allah to do these works, and some of us, I just have loads of unfinished works folders on our computers. Anyway, guys, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for tuning in today. May Allah bless you guys immensely and give you a good week. Bless you guys. Tomorrow I've got my course delivering. It's a free of charge course. It's going to be in Darlaston in Masjid Umar. I'll put the poster up on my Telegram, inshallah. And it's going to be basically a very basic explanation about Hajj, and I'll be answering questions there as well. So you can check that out, inshallah ta'ala. My budget usually low, but sounds like a book I would invest in as a layperson, especially Hanafi treatment of hadith, etc. really interests me. Yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to cover in detailed the topics of hadith and things like that. But what it will do is it'll teach you how Hanafis use this practically in their fiqh. So it's not going to go through a whole explanation of what usul hadith is, but it's going to go through, like that section will go through the concept of how Hanafis in fiqh apply. So you'll have a good idea of how Hanafis use it. That's the thing. If I go too deep into these topics, then it might kind of become like an unbalanced book. It's supposed to be about giving an overview of the major applications of these devices or these tools in Hanafi fiqh. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to finish it there. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah keep all of you happy. We'll see you guys next time. And remember, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also share my videos as well with others. How long did it go as a student? As a student, it took me Hidayah. It took me 3 years to cover it, all cover to cover, beginning to end. 3 years. We had 3 years reading. All right, guys. Yeah, take care, everyone. Have a nice week. Enjoy the weather whilst it lasts in the UK. And I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.